Well, we have to talk about, once again, on today's show, Trump and one of these videos he's released on Truth Social. And what he's talking about in this one has to do with the Tucker Carlson January 6th propaganda campaign that's been going on. Tucker Carlson trying to frame January 6th as something other than what it was. And because he obtained or was able to go look at the January 6th security footage, he's trying to use that as a chance to say they were hiding the truth from you. But even his usage of this security footage to prove a narrative that just isn't true was quite the failure, as we talked about in the past. And so while that's going on, Trump is trying to respond and use this as an opportunity to say the January 6th rioters should be let go. Why? I don't know. But then I'm going to show you, after watching a little bit of this Trump video, a Republican Accountability Project video that just destroys Trump and Tucker and their lies on this. But first, here's Trump.
Patriotic Americans are being prosecuted for peacefully protesting a stolen election. Let them go. They were convicted or are awaiting trial based on a giant lie, a radical left con job. Thank you to Tucker Carlson and Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy for what you both have done. New video footage is irrefutable, absolutely irrefutable. Thank you very much. We have to fight for our country, and we have to fight like we've never fought before. Our country is great, but it's in tremendous trouble. We're a nation in decline. We have to stop being called a nation in decline. They're laughing at us all over the world. We're not going to let that happen any longer. Thank you.
So you heard him say rioters are being prosecuted based on a big lie, which he doesn't mean it like this, but in a sense it's true. Based on his big lie, individuals took actions because they bought into his lie that the election was stolen, that now they're being prosecuted for, and they should be prosecuted for those actions. But at the end of the day, they are where they are because of his big lie. It's also funny him saying the video is irrefutable. True, but it just doesn't prove what you think that it proves. And I will say, he's giving this credit to Tucker Carlson. If Tucker Carlson, Trump, could lie about him supporting you or liking you on air, making it seem like he supports Trump, privately saying he hates him passionately, quote, I hate him passionately, and saying Trump is a destroyer, a demonic force, publicly very much supportive. If he could lie about that, he could also be lying about this, Trump. But now let's get to this Republican Accountability Project video that is so accurate and just stunning. Take a look.
Patriotic Americans are being prosecuted for peacefully protesting a stolen election.
And for our podcast listeners, you can imagine it's cutting Tucker's statements, Trump's statements, and then video from January 6th that very much contradicts what they're saying.
I heard chanting, kill him with his own gun. And there was a very good chance I would be shot to death. I thought of my 4 daughters who might lose their dad.
January 6th was neither an insurrection nor deadly.
One latched onto my face and got his thumb in my right eye, attempting to gouge it out.
These were not insurrectionists, they were sightseers.
I was electrocuted again and again and again.
Then the crowd joined in screaming, boo!
These are not rioters, these are people who wandered over from a political rally.
A man grabbed the front of my gas mask and used it to beat my head against the door.
Let them go. They were convicted based on a giant lie, a radical left con job.
Credit to the Republican Accountability Project. So enraging. And I've mentioned to y'all a few times, I'm traveling right now, thus the setting. And so when I was preparing for today's show, I was sitting with a couple friends and they were kind of looking over my shoulder, and we got into a conversation about what I was preparing this story. And, you know, every day I talk about just wild stories like this. And so it becomes somewhat normal, even though it's not, shouldn't be, but it does become somewhat normal. And seeing in my friends who are less politically involved kind of reflected the emotion that at the end of the day is there about these things, seeing that reflected in them kind of snapped me back into a level of visceral, whether it be anger or just confusion, because I can't process. And what we're talking about is just, you can't process that this is actually happening, that Tucker Carlson, Trump are just staring into the eyes of millions of people saying the sky is neon green. And then we're going, it's not, it's blue. It's blue, right? It's blue. It's right there. No, it's neon green. The video footage just showing the opposite of what Tucker Carlson is saying. And yet he's confidently saying it. And it's genuinely, this might even sound naive, but just hard to understand how someone would do that, if that makes sense. But why they're doing it is pretty clear. If they can distract, and they don't have to have the conversation, the honest, truthful conversation about January 6th, which is one, that it was an attempt by the rioters to prevent Biden's election win from being certified and prevent the certification process from moving forward through attacking the Capitol. And also the lies that were justifying their actions were the very same lies justifying or being used to justify Trump and his allies' attempt to keep Trump president despite losing the election, to concoct this fake elector scheme, have Mike Pence reject the election results when it came time to certify them and proclaim Trump the winner. Trump calling Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State of Georgia, saying, find me 11,780 votes. And calling the Speaker of the House at the time of Georgia, saying, call a special session and make Trump the winner. And all these different efforts that were going on behind the scenes, same lie being used to justify them, to keep Trump in the White House after January 20th, despite losing the election. And what that would have looked like, I don't know, but that's what they were trying to do. And real actions were taken on that front. We were far too close to a disastrous situation beyond the one that we already witnessed. So that being the conversation, the honest conversation, is why they need to distract from it, because it highlights their own wrongdoing. And it is just wild to watch. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.